Hi again, everybody. Bill Huddleston along with the coach of the Ruffers, Rafe, Watkins. And Rafe, we're not wearing black in mourning of last Thursday night's outcome, but it was not the game that the Ruffers expected to see finish on the scoreboard. But in reality, it changes nothing.
Well, other than just our pride, and being the fact that we're undefeated, you're right. Everything's still there on the board for us. You go 3-2-1 in the coming weeks if you keep winning. It's just other than frustrating and tough, but sometimes you need a wake-up call. I think back to 2016 when we were rolling along and got beat by Sand Springs, on a 2-point conversion. That was one of the craziest plays I've ever seen, and kind of woke us up a little bit there. So I hope so. We went down there, and as I told you on this show and our radio show, Shawnee was a scary team to me just due to the fact that I know their coaching staff and how well they prepare. The other is that they should have been 3-3 or 4-2 due to some crazy things that they lost. I mean, if you could go back and see some of the ways they've lost this year, it was just insane. So we knew there's a good team. Said crazy things happened on fall break. Did not want it to happen to us. But as you can see, and up the Muskogee Turnpike, there's a team that's sitting there scratching their heads too that lost to a team, Broken Arrow. So it happens. We didn't go down there. We had a great week of practice. I really think, even being out Thursday, we had our normal routine. We did things right. The preparation, the kids mentally prepared. I thought the bus ride down was good. Had a good warm-up. And then we go out there and we fumble the first kickoff. We get it back, but now we're in bad field position. We don't get anything out of that, and we have to punt, and we get our punt blocked. Well, the teams like that we always talk about, that's 1-5 and stuff, that's been having some hard times, if you go out and jump on them early, you're probably going to have an easy game. But the longer you let them stay in the game, the tougher it is, because they see a chance, if they've got any fight to them at all, which Shawnee knew was going to have fight to it. They've had a good program there for years. They're going to come out and fight hard, and the first thing we do is we let them block a punt or a touchdown. Well, at that point, further, it's going to be a war, and we get down 18-7, and our kids, to their credit, fought back, got ahead 21-18. We go trade back and forth there, and then at the very end, we just, our kids think that we have a fourth down stop, and that's when we're trying to get them to stay on because we knew that it's going to at least have to measure. Well, it ended up not even having to measure, and they gave them the first down, so they're on the 3 with 16 seconds to go. We're trying to get our kids back on the field because like 6 of them lost their mind is running off the field and stuff. And we're trying to get them back out. Well, obviously they start and they get 4 of us off sides. So now they're at the 1.5, half the distance to goal, and then they score because they get exactly 1.5 yards with 6 seconds left. Well, if they are at the 3 and they get 1.5 yards, they never get another playoff and we win. So you learn a lot of lessons throughout it. That didn't lose it. The block punt didn't lose it. The fumble on the 5 when we was down there didn't lose it.
Wasn't the grass, wasn't the full moon, wasn't Thursday night.
It wasn't we missed 2 wide open receivers there right before halftime. I mean, you can look back, it's just a combination of really a lot of bad plays and not playing very well, and we didn't play very well defensively. You could sit here and make excuses. We didn't have one of our safeties in, which caused, we're just not very deep in the secondary, and we had to move some people around, taking Connor back to safety, and then we're bringing in as a young sophomore. He played hard, but they did find him. They have an outstanding receiver in number 2, and they just worked it over there. And so, like I said, it's a combination of a lot of things to lose that ball game and still to only lose by 3 and have a chance and be in the lead. We showed some good character, I thought, in there, but the bottom line is we're not talented enough to just show up and win ball games.
Right.
Up to that point, 6 games we had went out and played well. When we play well and do the things we're supposed to, we're a pretty good football team. When we don't, it's going to be a struggle.
Average.
It's an uphill struggle. We're very average. And so hopefully we get back into that good mode this week. I like our game plan. Our kids came yesterday with a good focus. I think they had, I hope that it was embarrassing and gut-wrenching to them because it was a terrible 3-day weekend for us.
I know the coach didn't sleep much on it Thursday night.
No, it's not very
enjoyable.
Neither
did this broadcaster either.
But and it still bothered me but we got to let it drop.
Right.
It's one of those things you can't go back and change it. Now then, we can't let Shawnee beat us twice or 3 times because we're still thinking about it. Because other than, again, as you'd said earlier, other than not being 7-0 and undefeated, nothing else has changed. We still were going to have to beat Booker T in order to get a chance to play for first and second, and we'll have to go down from there. And the only thing it's done now is that Bartlesville game's even bigger than what it would have been, because now then you go and you lose that one. Later on down the line, now you're in some tiebreaker stuffs and you just put yourself in a mess. So main thing is we got to go back. We've been talking all year about being 1-0. We were 0-1 last week. We got to get back on the 1-0 streak now.
Absolutely. There were some moments of excitement for the Roughers, and we've got a lot of those captured in video. Coach, we'll roll our video highlights and just let you pick up the description. A lot of offensive success, primarily with this guy right here.
This guy
just gets better and better.
You know, he's our team. Offensive line-wise, the other night we blocked poorly. We've been on them. You know, we've been bragging them up all year long, and rightly so. They deserved it, and now then they deserve a little, you know, the criticism too whenever it comes along. And we did not block very well the other night. Their two defensive ends wore us out. I don't think we blocked at number 25 the entire night. But Jimmy continues to just be. I mean, you just got to say he's a stud. That's all there is to it. Here, Ty makes a good play. We come back, we go out and score. But Jimmy is just, I mean, he's an amazing athlete. And to have 31 carries for 246 yards, I believe, the other night. I've had a lot of great backs in 27 years, or 27 years. Gosh, I'm getting so old, in 27 years. But I don't know that, and I'm including Coach Staley in this, you know, and he was the offensive and MVP of the whole state in 2007, and I don't know that he ever had 3 games back to back of 200 yards, and Jimmy did that the other night. He's gone, you know, 207, 296, and now 240 something. That's pretty impressive, and he just continues to get better and better. And you know, the people he's recruiting, they look at him, they don't see that he's real big, but he never finishes. He always finishes off his runs and goes and just doing a tremendous job. Ty here goes the wrong way and then ends up being able to make something out of nothing. You know, he's another great player. He's going to have a great game this week for us to be successful. Defensively, we had our moments. We just gave up too much in the passing game. The running game, again, I think they only ended up with like 49 yards of positive offense. This run right here, how he shoots out and gauges just another speed, because their kids in the secondary were not slow. They had a good secondary. Old big boy's trying to pick him up and scoop and score and gets hit and falls down, but he got in the 5th fumble on the year. And then here's our diesel package, and Jimmy's able to get in.
Get into one of those situations.
This is a good hustle.
Hustle effort.
This is a hustle play because of the fact that if we're not following along there, you know, right here, David Timmons picks up this fumble and he takes it another 25 yards. That's being, you know, alert and working hard. Don't need to bow there at the end. You act like you've been there before. Maybe he hadn't been there before. I don't know, but that's stuff that drives me crazy. And then this run right here is just absolutely unreal. Webb just goes through their entire team. And, you know, if Webb wasn't so valuable on defense, if you gave him the ball 20 times a game, which next year we may have to, he could do some special things. Now, he don't have the breakaway speed that Jimmy does, but he's pretty special in his own right running the ball. And there's our last play of the game. We're trying to, you know, they'd spread people all out on the field. We just felt like they hemmed him in on the sideline over there. If he gets an open field, we really did think that he could possibly take it to the house there. But again, never gave up, just didn't play real smart at times, and just made too many mistakes to win the ball game. Bottom line, the Shawnee played up to their capabilities, and I'm sure their coaches over there going, why haven't we done this all year long? Right. And so, you know, hopefully we recover from it and get better this week, but we'll find out a lot more today when we go out to practice and in full pads and getting after it against a really, really good Booker T team.
32-29 was the final score for those fans that were there. It was an exciting game to watch. Depending upon which side of the stands you were sitting on as to how much of excitement there was at the very end. But another average effort on the part of the Roughers, and I don't want to be too negative or too positive, Rafe, but just
that's been fair enough.
You know, you fought to come back from some situations, and at the end, just wasn't enough time for run 2 or 3 more plays and get the green and white in the end zone. But now at 6-1, the Roughers will be back at home, and it is a huge ball game because now every game counts, perhaps more than any of the previous 7 that the Roughers have played. And it starts Friday night at Indy Bowl against Booker T. Washington. And when we come back, Coach Watkins will kind of give us a scouting report on an always dangerous Hornet squad. We'll talk about that after this timeout here on TV 15. Welcome back on TV 15. Bill Huddleston along with the coach of the Roughers, Rafe Watkins. Okay, the 0 is gone from the right-hand side, but that's all, as my daddy would say, that's water down the bridge, son. Forget that and move on. You cannot forget, though, what you've got in front of you, because you have Tulsa, Washington this week, Bartlesville next week, and then Bixby week 10. But more importantly, there's one game to be played, and it's against the Hornets, who with their 4-3 record are a whole lot better than 4-3.
Well, when you look at it, they got the number 1 team in Arkansas that they got beat by, and the number 2 team in Arkansas they got beat by. You know, they lost North Little Rock in one of those preseason showdowns. They got beat by Bentonville, Arkansas, and then they got beat by Bixby, the number 1 team in Oklahoma. So their 3 losses are to no slouches. I mean, most people's going to be 0-3 against those 3. But again, this game right here is probably for, you know, in their case, for sure, if they beat us, they're second because they've already played Bixby. For us, it's a chance if we win that we're no worse than second. So we got a chance still at first by playing Bixby. But whoever wins this game is no worse than second in the district, and so
of
that's
course what that means is home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs.
And that's so important. You know, that other side that right now, and I'm not looking too far ahead, but Stillwater is kind of their Bixby over there. They've got that one wrapped up over there. But then you're looking at Del City, Midwest City, Choctaw, and probably Deer Creek as the 4 that's going to make the playoffs. I think Lawton's already out of it over there, but you know, everybody's beatable over there other than the Stillwater group. They're probably a pretty tough team to, as we knew last year, that have to beat. So as long as you end up first, second, or third on this side of the district, I think you're going to see them all advance. You just don't want to be 4th in this district and have to go to Stillwater. But a huge game as always. You know, Booker T is Booker T. They're going to have great athletes. They've had them for 50 years. They're going to have them for the next 50 years. And this year's no different. You know, their quarterback's back, who's the fastest player in the state. You know, he won the 200 and the 400 as a freshman last year. He had some injuries early on, had a concussion early on, and he didn't play against Bentonville, or they may have even beat Bentonville. So he's a great player. They got a freshman tailback that's really, really good. Their line is probably not as good. Offensive line is probably not as good as it has been in the past. They've got some young kids on it. Defensively, though, is where they make their hay. I mean, they run so well. They've always got great linebackers. They've got another Brown as a nose guard. They got the good DBs that they can lock on man, and that's what makes it so difficult for everyone, is that they can lock on man with their DBs and put an extra man in the box to go against yours. So we're going to have to do some different things, because if we just get in our traditional sets, you know, that we're going to have 6 on 8. And that's not very good odds when their kids are just as good as you man for man.
Last week.
6 on 8's not a good situation, and they're going to dare you to throw it. We've got some things that we feel like can help us out. And we'll see from there. But biggest thing for us then, when we flip it around defensively, we've got to make sure that they have the Hester kid that's 6'5". He's going to Missouri. He had offers to Ohio State and some others, but he decided to go to Missouri. Great receiver. You know, he's every bit as 6'5". They got a number 22 to me that's just every bit as good. He's faster, I think, than the Hester kid. And then again, they're going to take 20 shots downfield. I mean, it's not a high-tech passing game. It's not going to sit there and do like what a Bixby will do to you later on, or even what Shawnee did the other night with a lot of crossing routes and stop routes and stuff. They're going to go out, they're going to throw the stop route and try to get their guy in space and make him miss, or they're going to go over the top and throw it as far as they can and run under it because of their team speed. We've got to figure out some way that we can help to double cover those guys, and we've got a good scheme for it. Now it's just executing it.
Well, certainly it should be a exciting ball game. It always is when Booker T and Muskogee play. It's been a long-standing rivalry, if you want to call it that, and there'll be a huge crowd Friday night. I mean, if all the weather holds up, it should be a big crowd, because it has a great deal of importance for both teams. And when you say Booker T, Washington, and Muskogee, you automatically think competition. I mean, Rafe, the last time the Ruffers won the state championship, they beat Tulsa, Washington by a single point. I think you'd take that same type of result Friday.
I'll take one right now, yeah. I'll take it right now.
Call it 13-12 and call it good, right?
Yeah, or as I was told last week at our church feed, I had a gentleman come up and said in 1968 that the Ruffers beat Booker T for the state championship. I haven't gone back and checked it, but I would assume that he knows what he's talking about, 2-0. and won 2-0 over Booker T at a state championship. So I haven't went back and looked, but that's what I was told. And we did win it in '68.
Well,
so
maybe Davion can get him another sack and this time be in the end zone and get those 2
I'll
points.
take a 2-0 win.
Absolutely. That'll be Friday night at Indian Bowl. It will be a 7 o'clock kickoff. Home games for the Ruffers always at 7 o'clock. We'll have our pregame countdown to kickoff on our live stream coverage, MuskogeeAthletics.com or RufferFootball.com. Click the link and join us. Or you can pick it up on radio at 1017 Okie Country KTFX, starting the pregame countdown to kickoff at 6:30. A lot of good comments come from Coach Watkins, the coordinators, even the players, and our trainer, Katie Stout, in preview of the game. And then, of course, the kickoff set for 7 o'clock. It is a night that you'll want to be in attendance. It's a night that you'll want to be there to cheer the Ruffers on. As
military night also.
It is military night.
So
that's what I was trying to get through to. And so if you're a veteran, a member of the armed forces of any of our service groups, we encourage you to be in attendance because we want to recognize you and thank you for your service to our country. And wear your green, come out and support the Ruffers in their hopes of picking up win number 7. For head coach Rafe Watkins, I'm Bill Huddleston. Remember, the Ruffers try and win every day the Muskogee way because it's always a great day to be a Ruffer. Goodbye, everybody.